Cleaner living can be the next moneymaker. Joining me is Chris Versace, CIO of Tematica Research. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining me on this beautiful day.
Happy to do it, Voz.
So I can't wait to talk cleaner living, but first I want to ask you about the G20. Will there be any cleanup in relationships there?
I like the way you turn the phrase, Voz. We will see. I think a lot of investors are waiting to see what happens coming out of this meeting. It's really going to be Saturday where President Trump and Xi get together. Can they get the trade talks back on track? And what is the fallout? These are the big questions. So here's what I'm thinking. If we come out of the weekend with status quo, deal back on track but not executed, I don't think they're really going to execute a deal based on getting together 2 days. A lot of big issues to hammer out. But I think the market is continues to move on. I think the Fed doesn't do anything at their July meeting. If, on the other hand, tariffs get ratcheted up coming out of the meeting, then I think we do see that July rate cut from the Fed.
Wow. And will we see more after that?
I think it's going to depend on the economic data. We have gotten a lot of data that's brought GDP expectations down for the June quarter. New York Fed's around 1.4, 1.5%, but we're going to get a lot more data coming through. So we will have to see. It really depends.
All right, and if. There's always an if.
Yeah. Well, if we do get a lot more rate cuts, then I think you're going to see a lot of dividend-sensitive companies get boosted higher. These will be things like REITs. These will be the dividend aristocrats, the dividend kings, those companies that continue to increase their dividends no matter what, and other higher-yielding stocks. And we might see a rally for gold.
Oh, good to know. So let's get into this index you're working on about cleaner living. First of all, what is cleaner living?
Well, Voz, you look to be an embodiment of cleaner living. It's the shift towards natural, healthy alternatives, putting away preservatives, artificial flavors, artificial colors, for example, GMO products. And it expands not just for food that we put into our bodies, but it's products that we put onto our bodies, into our homes, and into the environment.
And you're also putting them into an index. Tell us about the cleaner index.
Right. So at Tematica, we have a database of over 2,400 companies, and we have 10 investment themes, one of which is cleaner living that takes its cues from what I just described. So we saw a lot of talk out there about ESG, and from our perspective, ESG is an interesting concept, but our themes are all based on identifying structural change. So in this case, it's the structural change in keeping with cleaner living. We want to identify those companies that are benefiting from the consumer shift towards healthier natural products and services across those different areas. So we created the index. We identified a little over 50 companies that have greater than half their business derived from that tailwind, the cleaner living tailwind. So that's how we created the index.
What companies are in it?
There's some companies that you might have heard of, like a Tesla, Beyond Meat, for example. But there are other ones, too, that, like Weight Watchers, for example, that's in the process of really transforming their business, focusing on identifying those types of foods, beverages, and snacks that go into our bodies. But there's also other exercise-related companies. There's utilities that have high degrees of either renewables or have a pronounced amount of their profit coming from recycling and renewables as well. So solar, wind, that sort of thing.
It sounds really interesting and fun. It's widely discussed.
Funny story. So I actually, nicely shaved here, picked up some shaving cream the other day from Procter & Gamble, and even they, a large company, is trying to capture this tailwind. They now have shaving cream that has no fragrance, no preservatives, no nothing, just, shaving cream. So you're also seeing other larger companies really pivot into M&A activity. Last year we could talk about PepsiCo buying SodaStream. You could talk about, several years ago, General Mills buying Annie's, which was a natural products company. And we're going to see a lot more of this.
It's certainly booming. It is new, though, in the process. How do you see that this will be sustainable?
Well, sustainable in what sense? I mean, consumers will care about this because they're increasingly concerned about what they're putting in their bodies. And I think you're going to see more solutions come to market. Beyond Meat just became public. I wouldn't be surprised if Impossible Foods, past a certain point, goes in that direction as well. But we're also seeing larger companies like Tyson's in response to Beyond Meat. They actually coming out with a combo grass-fed beef and pea protein patties. Right? There's going to be more of this.
Yeah, I have to say I haven't tried the Impossible Burger yet, but I do like Beyond Meat. Have you tried it yet?
I have not, and I can't bring myself to go to Caesar's to try the pizza with the Impossible sausage.
Well, Chris, it was nice that you made today's interview possible. Anything else our viewers need to know about what Tematica's up to?
We're going to continue to do what we do. We're going to talk all about our 10 investment themes, and and we might be ramping out some other ones. So just stay tuned.
Cool, will do. And stay tuned for more interviews with Chris Versace. We hope to have you back on Modern Wall Street.
Anytime, Voz.